this charger might just end up proving my local Hyundai dealership completely wrong. Because after almost 10 years of owning an electric vehicle, I suddenly couldn't unplug mine. And according to Hyundai, it was all on me for using Tesla branded chargers. So today we're going to find out whether they were right or whether this charger proves otherwise. Hi, I'm James and I've been building out my smart home for years, with products from just about every manufacturer out there, figuring out what works and what doesn't. Now, admittedly, today's video is a little bit different. Today we're sponsored by EVDANCE, so it's not about your typical smart home gadget, as they've sent me one of their portable EV chargers. And it turns out it arrived at just the right time. At first glance, it just looks like another portable charger. 3-pin UK plug on one end, Type 2 connector on the other. Simple enough. But once you've lived with an EV for a while, you start to realize there are loads of situations where a charger like this makes so much sense. For example, say you've arrived at an Airbnb. The owner says that you're welcome to charge your car overnight. Brilliant. Except their cheap electricity tariff doesn't start until midnight, so they don't want you to plug in until then. I'm certainly not staying awake until midnight just so I can plug my car in. So instead, I can simply tell this charger when to start. Plug it in, set the delay, go to bed, job done. Or picture this. You've arrived somewhere with an older electrical circuit. You plug the car in and 10 minutes later, the breaker trips. Instead of waking up to discover your car barely charged overnight, you can simply knock down the charging current. It'll be a little bit slower, but at least it's a lot more reliable now. And now the following day of adventures isn't completely ruined. And then there's the cable's length. This particular model can be ordered in differing lengths up to 10 meters, which makes it a lot easier to plug in almost anywhere than digging out that questionable extension lead that's been rolling around in the boot of your car for the last 5 years. And it's also built to survive real life use. It's IP66 rated, operating from temperatures down from -30 degrees to +50 degrees centigrade, and apparently the control box can survive being driven over by up to 2 tons. Now, I don't think I'm volunteering to test that one, but we'll take their word for it. And all of this brings me nicely onto Henry. Yes, our car has a name, and unfortunately Henry has become a bit of a problem. See, nearly a decade ago now, I was lucky enough to buy my first electric vehicle, which happened to be a Tesla, and along with the Tesla wall connector, and it's been absolutely brilliant. Fast, reliable, no complaints whatsoever. About the car at least. Then last year we found ourselves suddenly in need of a second car. So we purchased a Hyundai Ioniq. And thankfully it charged perfectly fine on the Tesla charger that we already had. For months. No issues whatsoever. Then we took it into our local Hyundai dealership for something completely unrelated. And while it was there, they told us that there was a recall on the charging port. So naturally we said, go ahead, saves us bringing it in again later on. Not very long afterwards, we started having a very strange problem, one that I'd never experienced before. Sometimes the charging cable simply would not release. And we tried every trick that we could find online. Locking and unlocking the car, giving it a good wiggle, you name it, nothing seemed to help. Eventually we found the emergency release. No thanks to our dealership contact who didn't even know there was one. And for anyone else out there that might be watching and suffering from the same issue, it's not that cable on the left of the boot which emergency releases the actual charge port door. It's the one buried all the way underneath the entire boot floor and an extra little hatch, and it should be velcroed down there so it doesn't get lost under there. So at least we had some way to release it, but clearly something wasn't right. So back it went into Hyundai. And after charging us a pretty 150 quid to investigate, their conclusion was there was nothing wrong with the car. Apparently the fault was with both of my Tesla chargers. According to them, I should only be using Hyundai's supplied charging cable. Now, I'm not entirely sure how they expect owners to do that when traveling and fast charging, since Hyundai don't have their own fast charging network, but that's what they said. In fact, at one point they even accused Tesla of being kind of like Apple and not really having a very standard charging port. completely missing the irony of the fact that they're the ones being like Apple, telling me that I should only use their cable. But with no other way to charge the car, and short of spending silly money charging it on random Type 2 charging posts until it finally got stuck, we left 150 quid lighter and a bit stuck. Then, as if by fate, EVDANCE got in touch with me about sponsoring this video. And I realised that this would give me something that I didn't have before. A completely different brand of charger, which I could use at home and prove once and for all whether or not it was the Tesla chargers or the car. Well, I've now been using the EVDANCE charger for a couple of weeks now, and so far, annoyingly for me, it's worked flawlessly. Whether that means that Hyundai were right, or whether my Tesla chargers are simply exposing another issue, I honestly don't know yet. But what I do know is we've finally got a charger that we can confidently use with Henry, without worrying about getting it unplugged in an emergency. Which, with our disabled son who regularly can get quite unwell, is a genuine relief. But if anything does change on the unpluggability, I will be sure to let you guys know. So there we have it, the EVDANCE portable EV charger, and the story of our other car, Henry. If you are interested in checking out one for yourself, I will leave links in the description below and over on my website. If you've ever had a similar experience with a dealership, or you've got any thoughts on what might actually be causing our charging issue, do let me know down in the comments, because I am genuinely interested in whether you have any fresh ideas. And quickly, before we go, a huge thank you to all of my mid-tier channel members, whose names will be on screen now. Your support helps make videos like this possible, and every month, one of you wins a smart home product from my bucket of tech. And speaking of that giveaway, this month's winner is Dave, so congratulations to you. You have officially won this Sonoff Zigbee water valve, and I will be in touch with you very soon about claiming your prize. So if you're not one of those members and you'd like to be in with a chance of winning, you can join my YouTube, TikTok or Patreon below or at the top of my website. Thank you so much as always for watching, and remember, home is where the smart is.